I got to number 3 in an entire world at over 3,100 medals with this Lockbait Lightning deck from Roy. An absolutely insane deck, and also beat one of the best players, one of the best YouTubers, Ian. In today's Clash Royale, I'm going to show you the game against him and also against other of the best players in the entire world. If you guys don't want to miss any type of content just like that in the top of later against the best players in the world, I would say make sure to subscribe, make sure to use Critical More to support the channel even more, and I would say let's dive jump into that. Let's go. So guys, it's pretty late in Germany. I'm recording this video at 3 AM. So I'm honestly a bit tired, but I also can't find opponents. So I'm currently like top 3 in the world, as I said, and I can't find anyone. So we're going over some replays here against the best players in the world. I'm kind of going like over some tips, my opinion, how to play this deck. I mean, also Riley, of course, did some videos. I guess I didn't watch them, but most likely he did some videos about this deck because he made it and he's using it really regularly on top ladder. But I also think I can give you guys some tips to get better with this deck and maybe like a different, different play style, because even if like people are playing the same deck, the different play style always happening. And I'm just really happy that I'm like playing Lockbait again, right? Why do we have Lightning in this deck? Lightning gets a ton of value against Phoenix decks, and also sometimes gives you like a secondary win condition, right? Like with the Mighty Miner, because sometimes the Mighty Miner is going in the opposite half and on the opponent's half, and then you're able to like lightning out cannons, lightning out troops itself, and this is actually really helpful. So we're playing against Giant Graveyard Sparky here, an absolutely interesting deck, and we're just going to be aggressive here. So I'm just going to go on also for the Goblin Barrel and just kind of baiting out arrows there, and now my princess is killing everything. So I'm just gonna go for the cannon here, and you guys will see soon my princess stacking. Princess is one of the key cards. You will ask me what you can use instead of the Mighty Miner. I would say you can use, for example, Knight or Valkyrie, but Mighty Miner is so good. So even if you have the Mighty Miner a bit unleveled, I would always say make sure to use this one. So I'm just gonna go for another princess here. Princess is gonna get some decent amount of value. I think I'm also gonna go log here. And now I'm just gonna chill because I know I'm a bit behind Alex, and he's just gonna decide to use his Skelly King, but this is completely fine because now I can easily go in here for my cannon, and I know even if he's gonna use his Skelly King ability, it won't really do too much. And the cannon is really nice here because the cannon gets well, you know, against the Skelly King, but also against the Hunter. So this is why we decided to play the cannon over the Mighty Man. Honestly, I have a ton of fun playing this deck also. So he's just going to use the arrows now, so I'm first of all just going to go for Prince of the Bridge. I just want to be aggressive because now he can't really support the side. Every time he uses Zappies on defense against my Goblin Barrel and Princess, it basically means we get a free Mighty Miner. So I think I'm just going to go for the log here, and now I'm using a really smart Icebird, guys. So I'm using my Icebird here to distract the Sparky, and now I just absolutely clean this giant up easy. So I'm not just going to use this here, I'm just going to use my ability here because now my Mighty Miner still supports the left side and is able to get a ton of damage, as you guys can see here on top of the Giant. Look at the Giant. Giant is 50% HP off with just like one elixir, turning it around, pushing it to opposite half, or to opposite line, by the say, and just able to finish off that. And like still providing offense and also defense at the same time. So I'm just going to go for a log, really great log, keeping Princess alive. And now I'm just going to go in for my Mighty Miner here. Really smart arrows, to be fair, like killing like both of the princesses. And now I'm just going to go in here for my another barrel here. And of course the games take longer with Lockbait. So if you're like looking for easy crowns, easy wins, of course this is not really like you want to play. You want to control the game, you want to control the matchup, and that's how you want to win. So I'm just going to go in here. I'm just going to go in for my Icebird here. I'm just going to go stack another barrels just in case he wants to go in for a gravy. But he's playing really passive so far. So I'm just going to go stack another princess here. So the Hunter gets one shot, but that's completely fine. I think about lighting that, but I thought, okay, maybe it's a bit over aggressive. So I'm just going to go in here for my Princess Icebird here. Really great Icebird. Princess stays alive. I'm just going to go for my log here. And now I'm just going to go for surrounding that. And we're looking absolutely cool here. So I'm just going to go for another Mighty Miner here at the bridge. Mighty Miner is really solid. I'm just going to go use my Goblin Barrel here once again. This time we decide to go for Barbarians and stuff, going for arrows here, and I'm really trying to get the ability out. And the last possible second we got it out. Now you guys are going to see one of the craziest defense I think I ever did on my life. So I'm just going to go in for my log here, keep the princess somehow alive. But now she died, unfortunately, but I can just go in for another prince. And we are just going to continue stacking the princesses here. So I'm just going to go now for my another barrel here. I have my log ready, and he's just going to go in for Barb. I'm just going to go for another log here, and we have the perfect game control here. We're looking so good. I'm just going to go for another Icebird. I'm just going to go for another princess here. I'm just going to go for this here. I'm also going to go for another log here. Another barrel, just 24/7 spamming him here. I'm just going to go for the third princess here. behind the tower. I'm just going to use the ability here. Now I'm just going to go in for another barrel. I'm just going to wait here a few seconds. I'm just going to go for the lock here. And the 4th princess is coming down just for the absolutely incredible control here. Look at this, guys. Look at this. What an absolutely amazing win. I could have also played a 5th princess right now if I really want to. Absolutely incredible. And this is how you beat this type of decks. You just want to have the game control. Control, guys. I guess E-Gen is also a matchup you guys would really like to see, like how to beat E-Gen, because I feel at least, like maybe you guys have a different opinion on that, but E-Gen is really popular right now on the top of ladder. So in the top, like, I would say like top 50 until top 150 region, like there's a ton of E-Gen. I faced like 4 E-Gen players in a row, which is like, of course, absolutely insane. Mostly just this variation, the normal one with the cannon and the phoenix. This kind of what we like to have for lightning. So he's just gonna push it there. I'm just gonna go in for my cannon. I'm just gonna go for the mighty miner high. And of course, Princess Bridge is more of the main win condition in this type of matchups. You really wanna get a ton of volume. Of course, Lava, because people will always ask, what do you do against Lava? Lava is a really bad matchup. I think I won it once because I was just like pressuring him really well and stacked Princess. But normally you will always lose a tower. So the only real chance of you winning is like a 2-1. Where you play really aggressive and then a double, like getting the princess down and get a mighty mine at 1-1 going on to the opponent's tower. This is at least my experience. So yeah, this is like really the only way how to win this type of matchup. So I'm just gonna go in here for another barrel. He was going in for the phoenix to predict my princess, but didn't really make sense because his cannon was still on the map. So why would I play a princess at the bridge when his cannon is still on the map? Doesn't really make sense, but also at the same time it's an E-Gen player. So he's just gonna use an ability here. I'm just gonna go in for this here. I was just gonna go for a middle princess here, but it didn't really work out. I'm just gonna go in for my combo here. Just decides to tornado that anyway. So we're now even elixir. We're also a bit behind with 10 HP on the right hand side, a bit down. But it's okay, right? Nothing really happened so far. But normally this is kind of like in single elixir time, we don't really get any damage. Of course, like sometimes like princess chip, but the opponent is like really able to like defend really well, and normally they're not really applying E-Giants in single. They're just most of the time starting in doubles. So I'm just gonna go for Prince here at the bridge. Really smart Princess, since the Princess will damage the E-Giant, but also at the same time getting some nice chip damage. He's forced to play something in front of the E-Giant. So this is a really great tip also against golem players. When your opponent goes in with a golem in the back, go Princess same there at the bridge. It's a really smart play. Besides your opponent like plays like something like Princess. I mean like golem minion horn spam. Also, what I really like to do when your opponent goes for E-Gen at the bridge, you want to go E-Gen in the back, you want to go Prince at the bridge, you want to go Goblin by opposite lane, or like the safest play is just go Mighty Miner opposite lane, because that allows you to get a free card cycle. As you guys were seeing here, your opponent plays an E-Giant, you go for you go in for the Mighty Miner, then you can go Cannon, and you just need to cycle Ice Bird, Log, and Goblins, and get another Cannon. So sometimes this is like, because people are always asking me, how do I defend E-Giant when your opponent's just gonna lightning the cannon? This is kind of how you do it, as you guys are seeing here. So I'm always trying to push opposite lane. I'm just gonna go for the Log here, I'm just gonna go for the Ice Bird here, and now I'm back to another cannon. So this does the trick. This does the trick. I'm just gonna go in here for another Gombo here. Always want to pressure opposite lane, because that means that he can't play a lightning, or that he's kind of forced to commit elixir on defense. So I think I'm just gonna go in here for my Log. Yeah, Log is coming down, really great Log. Prince is killing that also. And right now, I'm just gonna go in for high Mighty Miner, and I'm just gonna spam once again the good old Goblin Barrel here. And this time we do get one chip damage, and every single chip is such a, like, it gives you such an important advantage. Okay, so Prince is just like playing, why do I play in the corner, not in the back? Because in case our opponent goes in E-Giant, we don't give him lightning value. So this will be really good lightning, because now also his barrels out of cycle, and also his tower now. Don't underestimate the tower stun with the lightning in this type of situation. This is really nice. So he's gonna play a cannon. I just get another free princess, playing it to snipe that, and he's kind of, I mean, he needs to go for an E-Giant in the back, but he still needs to defend the prince, obviously. So I'm just gonna go for an Ice Bird here. Now I'm just gonna go for Mighty Miner, cannons out of cycle. This is what I know, and I'm just gonna go in here for another barrel. Kind of always want to switch up the barrel placement. So I think this situation, I'm just gonna go for cannon high, really smart cannon. I mean, he could go for his own cannon, but I'm also gonna go for lightning now. Like damages E-Giant, Ice Bird plus Goblins, absolutely incredible. And now I'm just gonna go for the barrel first. Why do I go barrel first? Because that kind of means that he can't commit elixir. So I'm just gonna go for the Ice Bird here. This is a bit annoying now, so you get some damage, but it's also on the left side, so I can take some damage. Goblins are still doing a good job, and as you guys can see here, Goblins are going to clean this up entirely, and he's kind of spitting up damage, so his, I would say, like, really aggressive commitment, like letting a Goblin Bird completely untouched, didn't really work out. I'm just going to go in here for another Prince. I'm just going to go for the Log. And as you guys can see, 3-card cycle is absolutely crazy. I can just use another cannon here. I'm just going to go for the barrel. He still is defended. Barbarian Barrel is not in sight. And he knows it's over. And I can just immediately go in for the lightning here. And this game is over. GG's well played. This is kind of how you beat EG9. I think it was a perfect picture. Perfect example. And I would say now we're going to the deciding game for number 3 in the world against Ian. So guys, now we're facing with Ian, and we are at the similar trophies, and of course we got a pretty good matchup. So I don't know if you use this deck like a lot, or just like for this game, or like 1 or 2 games to maybe like get the video down, but this is an absolutely, like, of course, an absolutely incredibly good matchup for me. But you guys might wonder, how do I get damage? How do I use lightning in this type of matchup? This is kind of what I want to show you. So he's just gonna cycle Log because he doesn't overdeck. This is kind of really normal move with 216 Log cycle, but of course against Log bait it kind of puts him in a negative elixir trade by going in for the fireball here. So I'm just gonna go for the cannon here. Cannon does a pretty good job. I'm just gonna immediately go on Princess, and this is really important in this type of matchups. You want to be as aggressive as you can with Princess at the bridge, and whenever you can, whenever the opponent gives you the opportunity, you want to do it. But of course, most of the time they're going to predict it, so at least they need to always worry about that. Going in for Ice Golem and so on, going for Skeleton, so they're most of the time wasting Elixir, and this gives you like a really good advantage. You really want to take advantage of that. Also, sometimes your cycle is so cool with the 3-card cycle example that your opponent, they won't really expect you to have another Princess back and cycle. So this is also really nice. So sometimes when you're feeling okay, your opponent doesn't, he's not going to catch, he's not going to predict it, he's not going to expect that you're going to go for Prince at the bridge because he thinks you still need to cycle some cards. Go for Prince at the bridge. It's really effective. But also sometimes not doing it, your opponent's going to waste Skeletons, Ice Golem, Ice Spirit. This is even better for you. So of course, Mighty Miner always so great. 3-card cycle. We love to see that. So he's just gonna use a cannon here. And I mean, technically I could go now for a lightning, but I'm kind of want to wait. Maybe gives me some volume with the Ice Golem also on, or like, yeah, I don't know. He went with a Hawkeye in the back. I don't know really know why, but this gives us a free lightning on the tower, and also with the ability we're able to kill the skeletons. He still needs to play something, and at the same time we completely counter the Hawk Rider. So really nice thing. And I'm just gonna go now for Prince at the bridge. He's not gonna catch. I don't know. I think he did like some mistakes there, not catching really the Prince. I'm just gonna go for another barrel here. We kind of tried to juke him here, but didn't work out. I'm just gonna go for Mighty Man here. I'm just gonna go for the Log, and we're looking really good. I think I played this game pretty flawless, besides one mistake, which we're gonna take a look later. So my Mighty Man is going, but I'm just gonna go for a Prince in the back, and he just goes in for this. I'm just gonna go Ice Spirit here. I'm just gonna go Cannon really high. Why do I go Cannon high? That he's not gonna get any fireball prediction value. But of course, the smarter choice for him was going for the fireball on the Princess and tower anyway. Using my Mighty Miner on the back. I'm using now my Log and Ice Spirit. I know his Log is not in cycle, so I don't need to worry about anything. Now I'm just gonna go in for Princess here. He's back to Log, which was kind of surprising for me, but I'm also gonna go for another Goblins here. But unfortunately, his Musketeer does a pretty good job. I can still use the ability here, really smart ability to be honest, because the ability allows my Mighty Miner to directly focus on the Musketeer, and he's not able to protect her. So this is great. So this time he's gonna predict my Princess, and we're not going for her, so I'm just gonna cycle on the back once again. And I think I'm just gonna go Goblins here. I'm just gonna go Cannon here because I know he could technically go in for a pre-log. I'll just log my Goblins away, and now I'm just gonna go in for another barrel here. Even it's like a -1 trade, it's still okay. And as you guys can see, once again he's forced to play a Musketeer at the bridge, which he doesn't really want to. So look at his defense, guys. Now I'm just gonna go for the Mighty Miner here and use a perfect Ice Spirit. Ice Spirit absolutely resets the Hawk Rider. Even the Musketeer got target. No shots there. And since I kind of know his barrel's not, like his Log's not in cycle against my barrel, I can go in easily for my Goblin barrel, and like even we get like sometimes negative elixir, we also sometimes get a positive elixir trade when it's using a fireball, because fireball gives us a +1 trade, and but Log gives us a -1 trade. So the Princess is actually on tower. Maybe I should have pre-logged here. It wasn't really well played. I mean, it was okay, but this is like a mistake on his end because he gives me free lightning. And now I'm just gonna go for the cannon here. I played now a horrible Ice Spirit. I just should have like anticipated that he's going for fireballs. Should have played my Ice Spirit high to get a perfect like time going, because Ice Spirit plus tower plus cannon kills the hog right in time, even if your opponent is gonna play fireball. So once again, just going for a log here. I'm just gonna go Ice Spirit here. I'm also gonna go play cannon. I didn't know he was going in for that, but also like really important with your opponent. If you have like a prince in the middle, the opponent's always gonna fireball that and try to also hit the cannon. So just to make sure to play your cannon then on a different spot. So perfect Ice Spirit here, perfect goblins. I'm also gonna go for the log here, and I know like he doesn't have log even cycle. He can cycle back to it really quickly, but he still needs to commit so much. So I'm just gonna go for another barrel here. No, I'm just gonna like also play it a bit in the back. I'm just gonna go for lightning here. I'm just using my cannon high here. No fireball player allowed, and we are winning this one. I beat Ian to get number 3 in the entire world, and I'm back on the top of the ladder, and there will be a ton of new videos in the next couple of days. Me pushing with this deck. I really love this deck. So let me know if you guys are also using Lockbait. You guys like Lockbait? You think it's no skill? I think there are always like different opinions. But at least it's not rocket cycle anymore. Now it's lightning cycle.